So nobody's surprised, Pokemon has officially confirmed a brand new Pokemon Presents for Pokemon Day next week. Let's take a look. Alright, if you guys didn't know, we've been looking forward to Pokemon Day for a while now, as this is kind of the flagship announcement for the franchise to kind of lay the framework and groundwork for what to expect in 2023. Cerebi.net reporting on the fact that Pokemon Presents is confirmed for the 27th at 14 UTC, which is 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Very standard stuff. This is their announcement time window. They've been doing it for years, I can tell you, because I've been following it here. And we are indeed going to get that Pokemon Presents. Now, we don't really have any details about the Pokemon Presents just yet, but there's a few things that have been kind of floating in the world. It is unclear, but it's apparently 25 minutes long. I actually just saw that on Cerebi. So it's a 25-minute Pokemon presentation, which is pretty robust. So any rumors or anything that said anything other than 25 minutes at this point, we can kind of discount. But this one's looking to be pretty spicy, so let's dive a little deeper. Now, as I said, Pokemon Day is their opportunity to kind of lay the groundwork for what's to come this year. And you might be asking, well, what are they going to talk about? What are they going to reveal? What's going to happen? I think the first piece of the puzzle here is definitely Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, right? We're in a situation where we're waiting for the full rollout for Pokemon Home, waiting for that connectivity. We found out recently that they're potentially going to be porting some games over to the Nintendo Switch from old classic games. We've seen them kind of do that with some of the other titles on the Nintendo platform. So we're expecting to see some potential titles come to the platform, like your Pokemon Gold and Silvers, your Crystals, your Rubies, your Sapphires, kind of some of those OG Game Boy-like games coming over on kind of their emulator system on the Nintendo Switch. So that's something to look for. The Pokemon Home stuff is something to look for, as I mentioned earlier. And there's a couple other things that are worth mentioning. The big one being the DLC, though, right? Like, that's probably the biggest thing. Back in Pokemon Sword and Shield, we had two DLCs. We had the Crown Tundra and the Isle of Armor in reverse order. And they released in the spring and then kind of in the fall, respectively. But in this case, we're expecting to see either one or two DLCs for the Paldea region, and we don't know a ton about them, right? Like, we know that from the leaks and the rumors and stuff, it's going to explore a handful of things like this third legendary. We've heard rumors that there's going to be like a Pika Hex competitive building functionality that'll allow you to train your Pokemon more efficiently. There's a thought that there could be new Paradox forms specifically related to the two legendary Pokemon, SUICUNE and obviously Entei and Raikou, and then the other one being the potentially the Virizion. And I kind of stuttered for a second because a new announcement just dropped as I'm making this video, so I'll cover that in a second. That was actually going to be at the end of the video, but I just got the update. So, we've got those legendary Pokemon, and that's actually where we're going to head next. Before I dive into everything going on with the Riddler, I have to tell you guys about a sweet Kickstarter that my buddy's running for his new book called Storm Totem. If you like Monster Hunter, Pokemon, Digimon meets Avatar, then Storm Totem is the book for you. Derek Allen Sidaway is an internationally best-selling author who's actually working on my project Alestrals as well, and has written a ton of books, and his newest book has just dropped on Kickstarter, and you don't want to miss it. You have only until February 23rd at 10 p.m. Eastern to pick up a copy of his book. He's got signed paperbacks, audiobooks, ebooks available, and this is a Kickstarter top 3 most popular fiction project, so this is one you simply don't want to miss. It was funded in 5 days, and Derek is an incredible writer, so feel free to check out the description below and pick up his new book on Kickstarter, support a project, and show some love there, and let's talk more Pokemon. Riddler Coup posts, what is the shape for the legendaries? And the PS, which we're thinking is the Paradox form for SUICUNE. That's what we're thinking, what we're talking about here. And then he actually says, do you remember this? After ruling out an incorrect option, it's getting clearer. You would notice what they look like in game is different when they got depicted in those sketches. Getting intrigued, huh? So we have the sketches of SUICUNE and Virizion, and apparently those sketches are not all that accurate when all is said and done. That's like the imagination of the, what this person kind of thought up when they sketched it in the Scarlet and Violet books. But it seems as though it's going to be a little bit different. So we're thinking there's a chance that SUICUNE is indeed dragon typing. That's been something that's been rumored. There was a poem that got posted by the Chinese Riddler, I believe it was, that talked about a dragon, and we're thinking that SUICUNE may end up being dragon typing, and based on these things, it's either going to be kind of this standing up dragon, almost kind of like a Tyranitar type of silhouette. It's going to have wings, which I think is probably the most likely. I think I can see it having wings, especially with SUICUNE's ribbons, Entei's kind of side pieces potentially forming wings. I could see it having wings, or it's going to be like humanoid like Goldengo, which I don't think is the case. So I do think we're probably leaning towards more so the idea that it's going to have wings. So don't be surprised if Paradox SUICUNE has wings. That's all I'm saying. Don't be surprised about it. Now, the Riddler then goes on to say something else very interesting. He says, in response to an Austin John Plays post, Austin, a buddy of mine, saying that he's going to start working on Legend of Zelda coverage soon after Pokemon Day. Koo says leaks. He drops a little leaks with a little face in clouds emoji. So perhaps there's more about the Pokemon franchise this year than we're really expecting. So we'll have to wait and see. I just thought it was funny that Koo responded to Austin there, and we'll see what that turns into. From there, a couple other things. LuTube actually reporting on the fact that Detective Pikachu 2's development reaffirmed in another interview recently released with Creatures. If released in 2023, it'll have 4 years of development throughout COVID. So we'll have to wait and see what's going on with Detective Pikachu 2. We'll have to go and kind of see what's going on with Mystery Dungeon. We talked a little bit about Mystery Dungeon on the channel and how the website for Pokemon Day has like coding in the copyrights for Spike Chunsoft, which is the developer of Mystery Dungeon games. So we're expecting a new Mystery Dungeon title to be announced. That's something that is very much so on the docket. So keep an eye out for that, Mystery Dungeon fans. And then Pokemon Sleep is another one that I'm looking forward to. So I'm probably gonna do like a full breakdown in a few days of like every little detail of what we could potentially expect from what's coming for Pokemon Day. But those are just a few little things that I thought were worth mentioning that could be coming. Now, the last thing, and kind of one of the things I wanted to mention, was we're actually in a series where we don't have a raid, right? And that's where I kind of paused earlier while I was recording. We don't have a raid right now, and this is the first time since the game launched where there wasn't like a raid, Terra raid announcement. They just announced 2 minutes ago as I'm filming this. The next 7-star raid event has been announced for Scarlet and Violet. Battle of Water Terra type Pikachu runs from February 24th to February 27th. So we're gonna get Water Terra Pikachu to celebrate Pokemon Day. It's possible they do something afterwards, but now it makes sense. We've filled the gap for the Terra raids. And Water Terra Pikachu is kind of cool, right? Because you get Surf with it, so you can actually take advantage of its Water Terra type outside of, you know, Terra Blast, obviously. And Pikachu with Light Ball can be pretty strong. This is a raid that I don't think is all that exciting personally, but it makes sense in the context of Pokemon Day, so no surprises there. So again, a lot going on. Pokemon Day going down next week, 9 a.m. Eastern time. I'm most certainly going to clear my schedule, make sure I can stream that live announcement with you guys on my live stream at twitch.tv/aDrive. We're expecting a handful of things. The focal point, of course, being DLC for Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon Home, obviously, probably making an appearance. A lot of rumors and hints towards the Mystery Dungeon title. Pokemon Sleep may finally actually get revived. And then, of course, you've got all the other games. Pokemon Unite, where a ton of stuff has been leaking. Chandelure, Umbreon, Goodra, different Pokemon like that, Lapras on the test servers. You've got some of the other spin-off games like Cafe Remix and Pokemon Go, which I'm sure are going to have some sort of representation in Pokemon Day, as they typically do. I don't know if we're going to get any big surprise announcements. I think what I've said is probably it, but if they're going to release another title, they could do the single DLC this summer and then do like a Let's Go Johto in the fall. Like, there's a lot of possibilities, so let's not rule those out, right? Like, there's a possibility that they throw a big curveball at us and they give us something that we just never expected before. Let me know what your wishes are for Pokemon Day, as we're a week away. You guys can let me know in the comments section below what you're hoping we see. This is big, baby. It's exciting. Get on the hype train. Let's have some fun. Pokemon Day next week. I'm excited to watch it with you and see what's next for the Pokemon franchise. Thanks for watching.